Thank you so much. Thank you. Please. Thank you. Good evening. Thank you so much, Madam Minister, for not only the introduction, but for the work that you're doing every day to bring our two countries. U.S.-India Business Council in Mumbai on my last visit to India, and it's good to be with you again. I thank you, CII, FICCI, and the Government of India for hosting us. I'm pleased to be joined on this visit by leaders from my administration who are dedicated to expanding the trade and investment between our two countries, and I just want to mention them briefly. Our Secretary of Commerce, Penny Pritzker, the Administrator of the U.S. Agency for International Development, Raj Shah, the President and CEO of our Overseas Private Investment Corporation, Elizabeth Littlefield, and the Director of the U.S. Trade and Development Agency, Lee Zhang. Prime Minister Modi, I want to thank you again, both for your invitation to join you on this incredible Republic Day and the wonderful hospitality that you've shown me over the past 2 days. Today's ceremonies and parade were truly spectacular. It was a moving tribute to India's founding, its democracy, its progress. And after all those hours in the reviewing stand together, I figured that the Prime Minister might be tired of me by now, but what's another speech between friends? I will not, by the way, ride a motorcycle today after watching those incredible acrobats. As I said yesterday, even as this visit is rich with symbolism, it's also a visit of great substance. We're advancing the vision that I laid out on my last visit. India and the United States as true global partners. And a core element of this vision is greater trade, investment, and economic partnership. Our two business communities, all of you, have been some of the strongest champions for a closer relationship, and I want to thank you for your commitment. You understand better than anybody that in our globalized world, the fortunes of the United States and the fortunes of India are inextricably linked. We can grow and we can prosper together and establish a set of global norms in terms of how business is done that will benefit not just our two countries, but people around the world. And when I spoke to you on my last visit, I pledged to broaden and deepen our economic ties, and that's what we've done. In the last few years, we've increased trade between our countries by some 60%. Today, it's nearly $100 billion a year, which is a record high. And this is a win-win. It's a win for America and our workers because U.S. exports to India are up nearly 35%, and those exports support about 170,000 well-paying American jobs. At the same time, Indian investment in our country is growing as well. And those Indian investments are supporting jobs across America. You've got high-tech jobs in upstate New York, manufacturing jobs in North Carolina, engineering jobs in places like Michigan and Ohio. And our growing trade is a win for India because increased U.S. exports and investment here mean more American-made planes flying passengers on India's airlines all over the world, more American-made turbines generating the energy India needs to continue with its growth, more American-made machinery upgrading India's infrastructure. And because we've made it easier for foreign companies to sell and invest in America, India's exports to the United States are also increasing. And that means more jobs and opportunities here in India. In the end, that's the purpose of trade and investment, to deliver a better life for our people. And both Indian and American workers are and can benefit even more in the future from close ties between our two countries. So we're moving in the right direction. I want to thank everybody here for the progress that we've achieved together. Now, that said, we all know that the U.S.-India economic relationship is also defined by so much untapped potential. Of all America's imports from the world, about 2% come from India. Of all of America's exports to the world, just over 1% go to India. 1% to over 1 billion people. We do about $100 billion a year in trade with India, which is a great improvement since I took office, but we do about $560 billion a year with China. And that gives you some sense of the potential both for the kind of growth that India might unleash and the potential for greater trade between our two countries. So I think everybody here will agree. We've got to do better. I know Prime Minister Modi agrees, and he just shared his expansive vision on this issue with you. As we announced yesterday, we've taken a number of concrete steps forward on this visit. New breakthroughs will help us overcome some key issues and move us toward fully implementing our civil nuclear agreement. We've taken another big step forward in our defense cooperation with a new technology and trade initiative so that Indian and American companies can jointly develop and produce new defense technologies. We've agreed to resume discussions that would move us toward a bilateral investment treaty that would facilitate Indian businesses making more investments in the United States and U.S. businesses making more investments here in India. And we've agreed to step up our efforts with a new high-level U.S.-India strategic and commercial dialogue to make sure we're taking concrete steps that build on our progress so that when two leaders share a vision and make agreements, we know that our agencies, our bureaucracies, will follow through aggressively, and we can hold them accountable. And President Modi, Prime Minister Modi, I want to thank you for your personal commitment to helping us advance all of these efforts. Today, I'm proud to announce additional steps, a series of U.S. initiatives that will generate more than $4 billion in trade and investment with India and support thousands of jobs in both of our countries.